Your Excellencies, Dr. Monique Sanzabagangwa, Deputy Chairperson, African Union Commission, Dr. Tedros Ghebreyesus, Director General of the World Health Organization, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, Director General, World Trade Organization, who is joining us today via video link, Professor Pat Mashri, Jill Sampath, Chief Executive Officer of the African Pharmaceutical Technology Foundation, Mr. Edward Kwakwa, Deputy Director General, World Intellectual Property Organization, Dr. Ahmed Umar, Deputy Director General, Africa Centers for Disease Control, Dr. Michel Sidibe, Special Envoy of the African Medicines Agency, Mr. Charles Gore, Executive Director, Medicines Patent Pool, Mr. Frederick Christensen, Deputy CEO, Coalition for Epidemic Preparedness Initiative, distinguished delegates, esteemed ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I am absolutely delighted to have the opportunity to address you today at this important international conference on innovation, intellectual property, and technology transfer in Africa's pharmaceutical sector. This first conference, organized by the African Pharmaceutical Technology Foundation, just 3 months after its office opened in Kigali, Rwanda, is a very special moment. It is also special because it is the first such event in Africa to discuss how to harness innovation, protect intellectual property, and foster technology transfer to build Africa's pharmaceutical industry. This conference is also taking place at a critical moment of intense discussions on the international pandemic body negotiations on a pandemic treaty at the World Health Organization. I am delighted that the conference has been able to gather such an impressive list of eminent personalities and experts from Africa and all over the world to discuss and deliberate on where we are and the way forward. 4 years ago, our world was engulfed in one of the worst global pandemics with COVID-19. We saw then the stark divergence in supplies of vaccines, drugs, and diagnostics between Africa and the rest of the world. While developed countries provided vaccine booster shots for their citizens, Africa could barely afford one basic shot for its population. We learned a clear lesson from the pandemic. Africa must never again subject the health safety of its 1.4 billion population to the benevolence of others. Africa must assure its own health security. That's why in the heat of the pandemic, I placed a call to the Director General of the World Health Organization, my dear brother Tedros, who is here with us today. And I asked him, Tedros, what is the one single thing that the African Development Bank Group can do to support Africa in the health space to ensure that we can assure health security? His response to me was simple and clear. Invest in healthcare infrastructure, period. Now, I took this seriously, and together with my staff, went to the board of directors of the African Development Bank Group to make the case. I am delighted that our board of directors approved our strategy. That is why the African Development Bank launched a $3 billion program on quality health infrastructure for Africa. The African Development Bank also launched another $3 billion program over the next 7 years to build Africa's pharmaceutical industry to be able to meet the needs of the continent for essential medicines and vaccines. We recognize that while good and commendable efforts were being made in the development of pharmaceutical drugs and vaccines, it is critical to go beyond fill and finish of drugs and vaccines. Clearly, Africa needs to aim higher and strive to manufacture a large part of its own pharmaceutical drugs and vaccines. For this, we need to change the technology environment, secure technology transfer, and build the regional innovation system to produce active pharmaceutical ingredients and antigens and to innovate. We were convinced that this could not happen unless there was a dedicated institution that works with all African actors to promote change, facilitate technology access through technology transfer and other means of technological capacity, and helps to address barriers and opportunities presented by intellectual property rights protected technologies. Equally important was the need to build the pharmaceutical and biomedical research and development ecosystems that can support world-class local pharmaceutical industries. This is why the African Development Bank Group created the African Pharmaceutical Technology Foundation with the support of the African Union. I am delighted that Dr. Monique Sansabaganwa, Deputy Chairperson of the African Union Commission, serves on the Board of Directors of the Foundation. I am also delighted that Dr. Tedros Ghebreyesus, Director General of the World Health Organization, and Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, Director General of the World Trade Organization, both serve on the Eminent Advisory Council of the African Pharmaceutical Technology Foundation. I wish to thank them for their excellent support for this new and critical institution. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased that within 2 years of its conception, the African Pharmaceutical Technology Foundation is now actively working on the ground in Africa to fulfill its critical mandate. The foundation has commenced its operations in programmatic areas, and it is rapidly being supported in Africa and globally. The foundation is gaining rapid global attention. The African Pharmaceutical Technology Foundation has just recently been rated among 24 agencies around the world to watch out for in 2024 by DIVEX. Incredible. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Africa stands at a pivotal juncture in its developmental trajectory, and the pharmaceutical sector will be playing a critical role in ensuring the health and well-being of its people. Yet, we face formidable challenges in enabling the development of the sector, including insufficient infrastructure, limited institutional capacity, weak scientific and industry partnerships, and a significant innovation gap. However, in the face of these challenges lies an opportunity for transformative change. Innovation lies at the heart of progress. It is the engine that propels societies forward, driving advancements in healthcare, biotechnology, genomics, and new technology platforms like the mRNA and beyond. For Africa to fully harness the power of innovation, we must work together to build capabilities, nurture creativity, reward ingenuity, and foster collaboration. One of the keys for success is to assure the protection of intellectual property rights. That's because intellectual property rights incentivize innovation, but they also provide the legal framework necessary to facilitate technology transfer, share technical information, and promote investment in research and development. Furthermore, technology transfer plays a pivotal role in bridging the gap between frontier innovation and follow-on innovators. By facilitating the exchange of knowledge, skills, and technologies, we can accelerate the development and the deployment of life-saving medicines and healthcare solutions. By so doing, we can also build the capabilities of new companies and research centers all across Africa. However, technology transfer must be approached with a spirit of partnerships and mutual benefit, with a focus on building local capacity and empowering African institutions to lead the charge. We must therefore leverage the collective expertise and resources of all African agencies, governments, academia, civil society, and the private sector to foster innovation, promote technology transfer, and ensure equitable access to essential medicines for all. As we chart a course towards a brighter future for Africa, let us forge a new path forward, guided by innovation, integrity, and inclusivity. I have no doubt at all that this will be an extremely productive conference, given the wealth of knowledge, expertise, and experience present right here today, cutting across global leaders of institutions, the academia, practitioners, and experts from within Africa and outside the continent, as well as chief executives of private sector companies. I am confident that by harnessing the power of innovation, protecting intellectual property rights, and fostering technology transfer, we can and we will unlock the full potential of Africa's pharmaceutical sector. Together, let us build health security for Africa. Let us ensure that Africa can manufacture its own pharmaceutical drugs and vaccines. Let us build Africa's capacity to manufacture those vaccines right here in Africa. Let us build the research and development ecosystem to undergird world-class pharmaceutical capacities. And let us structure and build the right strategic partnerships within Africa, outside Africa, and globally to assure success. We are always better together. I wish you successful deliberations about these next 2 days. Thank you very much and welcome again.